Oh my goodness. Here we are, the first of many 100 map sessions. And today we're going to start things off right early on in League 3.20 with a super low investment. I mean, so low it's basically no investment strategy on Mausoleum, a map I never hear anybody talk about. This is Jungle Valley 2.0. In case you weren't aware, it does not spawn boss altars, just like Jungle Valley did. Jungle Valley's gone, and I've been tinkering around on this map. Quite like it, actually. Today's farm is going to feature... Jump straight in. A grand design strategy. So, this is something I tinkered around with around day 5 or day 6. You know, I almost made the major switch from strongbox farming on Crimson Temple to doing this, but I decided to stick with strongbox. I knew I'd come back later. I knew right then and there this was going to be the first major video that I made this league. And a lot of people don't have tons of currency to invest. It can't be picking up, you know, enraged sextants right and left. Maybe they don't even want to mess with compasses at all. If that's you, this strategy is definitely for you. You just need a tiny bit of currency to jumpstart it, and then it's, I think, at least through preliminary testing, 100% self-sufficient strategy that we have right here. I am turning this into a perception versus reality, which is something I didn't initially intend to do, because back around day 5, people were becoming aware that altar farming, Exarch or Eater of Worlds, altars were potentially better than ever before, even though they were so good in the best state they'd ever been last league. They're even better this league. But while people were beginning to discover that, I immediately thought of grand design as being probably one of the most viable options, at least for low investment. But most people were getting turned off by that idea. People all over the community, even a lot of people within my own community. I kind of stayed quiet because I knew I was going to test it out later, and lo and behold, I think it's pretty good. So that's one perception I would like to push back on a little bit, is the idea that maybe grand design is not a good option for this kind of strategy. The other thing, it's actually kind of a twofold thing. The other thing is that grand design in general, when people think grand design, they're always thinking about either Expedition or Sacred Grove, and that you have to do one or both of those in order to make good use out of it. And I also want to push back against that. I think that you can implement a strategy where you don't have to farm anything serious. You can just go straight into a couple of very minor mechanics, in which case this time I've chosen Essence and Strongbox. Is very minor mechanics, nothing crazy. You don't spend a lot of time doing them. And then just focusing on the Eldritch altars, and really Eldritch altars would be the primary means making currency. This is like the really simple farm that, you know, if you're someone who just likes Alch and Go and you don't even want to have to think about compasses, you don't have to think about scarabs, you don't have to think about anything, you just want to put the map in, go, and you just want to be able to get the maps inside the maps to self-sustain them. Well, this is, my friend, this is your video right here. It might surprise a lot of you guys to know that you can, in fact, self-sustain maps with a grand design strategy. I have taken the 4 major map sustain nodes. Shaping of the Valleys will be used in conjunction with Fortune Favors the Brave anyway. And then we're cranking up the pack size with the lowest investment end with Rusted Scarabs. Apparently, this keystone reads incorrectly. It's actually 5%, 7%, and 10%. I can't remember what winged is. But either way, it's 5% per Rusted Scarab. We're going to be using 4 Scarab. Which Scarabs? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just use the 4 cheapest Scarabs you have. We're going to be doing Exarch because it is a more consistent farm with all kinds of map-based currencies, as well as Chaos Orbs, other things. It does not have the Divine Orb or Exalted Orb, so we're not going to be relying on RNG. I am truly trying to come at you today with showcasing sort of the ultimate low investment or no investment, least RNG-oriented strategy you can. So whatever the results are after 100 maps, really going to be pretty accurate, I think. No Reliquary Scarab, not doing a bunch of magic find. I do have a gold flask on, but I mean that's actually it. There are a total of 40 notables chosen here, so we're going to be getting 40% pack size through grand design. We're going to be getting an extra 10 from Shaping of the Valleys. We're going to be getting an extra 20 from Growing Hordes. So that's 70 pack size before we even factor in the map. And every single one of these maps are simply just out. chiseled and out. I'm not even doing Valor because you know what? If I'm just the average player and I don't have a very strong character, I don't have a lot of currency to start with, I can't roll a whole bunch of different kind of mods, I'm not going to be Valorbing everything anyway, right? It's just going to be alking and then re-rolling them if they happen to have really bad mods. For me, in my case, if I don't want to have to run a mana flask, I can't run no regen. So every single one of these maps doesn't have regen. No regen, and then everything else just whatever it is. Some of these are high pack size, some of them are low pack size. Just kind of a wild mix of everything. I got 400 scarabs right here, rusted scarabs. These are all, each of these are some of the cheapest scarabs on the market right now. They're all worth less than 1 chaos orb a piece. And while I am starting, obviously, with a bulk supply of different things, you don't have to. You can just be I mean, you could probably get away with starting with just 4 rusted scarabs, 1 mausoleum map, and 3 chaos orbs for the Fortune Favors Brave. You could probably get away with that and actually just jumpstart it. I mean, you might have to have a little bit more. You don't get a map out of every single map you do, but yeah, that is the atlas here. One last look at it. It is in the description below. There is one major catch that I should mention, because I don't want to mislead you guys. My atlas is 100% complete. So if you're doing a grand design strategy, you really want a complete atlas to be able to make use of all of the notables. Again, it's a strong box here. There's only going to be 1 strong box on each map and 1 essence on each map. There's not much else you can do with the points. You could technically get a few more notables out of it if you didn't specifically spec these things, but I think it's worth actually just going ahead and specking into these things anyway. I mean, it's completely wasted. Bestiary over here, these other ones here. We're doing shrines as well, but no covetous shrine. There is essentially a 20% bonus chance to spawn additional essences, strong boxes, or shrines as well. So that is obviously nice. Not even messing with blueprints and contracts. You could. There are all kinds of different ways you could juice this strategy up a little more. So stay tuned for the follow-up 100 map session where I'm essentially going to do the same thing, except actually apply some strategy to it and not just go like bare bones. But I absolutely want to present you with the reality that you can farm up some decent currency without really having to invest anything. You can just completely turn your brain off and do the strategy. You do need to have a decent mapper. It just has to have decent clear. You don't need high single target damage. In fact, we're not even killing the boss on these maps. Again, just like Jungle Valley, I'm not even going to be killing the boss. Not at all. So that might surprise you a little bit. Let's take a look at the investment. It should say here 4.97 divines. It's all right here. Mausoleum clocking at 4 chaos a piece. I think this map's going to stay relatively low because it does connect to Crimson Temple, which connects to Strand, which is the most expensive map currently right now. You do not have to start off with a bunch of remnants of corruption. It's wise to if you can, so you can actually do it. But if your build can't handle corrupting the essences, don't bother with it. The Divine Orb and Chaos Orbs here match up for 300 Chaos worth of Fortune Favors the Brave, put on 100 times over. And that is it. That's the investment. It's all listed right here. There you go, 4.97 to start. And we're going to check at the end just how much we got. I'm not expecting any major drops. There are some interesting altar choices, some divination cards that could be coming out. I've never personally seen a high value Exarch divination card for unique jewelry or whatever, but I'm expecting we might see it. The Headhunter is still on standby for this build. This will probably be the last time that I leave the Headhunter again, because again, it's important to me to present to you something that's at least realistic to a farm that you can do or would be doing. So once again, I'm leaving the Headhunter off. Just kind of got my finished Toxic Rain character, except for this particular farm. I am going to go ahead and use Val Caustic Arrow, so you're going to get to see some Val Caustic Arrow Nova support. There it is, Arrow Nova support. You get to see that in action. It actually can pack kind of a punch for single target. All right, so let's get started with it. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments section below. We got Exarch here to start with. No master missions to start. And Fortune Favors the Brave. 88% quant, 26% pack size. Kind of, you know, a decent map to start with. Nothing too crazy. So again, it's 70% pack size plus 26. So when I put this map in and we check this, it should come out to 96% pack size. Let's make sure it does. Oh yeah, going to keep time on that. And we have 96% increased pack size. Well, there you go. Again, if you want to juice up these maps further, you can add an additional essence. You could add a couple strong boxes for your compass. You could corrupt them and put in pack size for unidentified maps. That's also a pretty good option. I'm going to be clicking a lot of altars in here because there's a lot of pack size, and in most cases, I'm going with the Eldritch minion side, right? These are actually some pretty bad altars to start with. I'm typically going to loot on the go. I can probably keep Rampage up even just looting on the go. May or may not. Almost lost it right there. So Cartographer Chisels are kind of like borderline of almost not even worth picking up for me right now. But here we go. I mean, look how easy it is to sustain 4 Scarabs a map. I mean, what? I'm gonna pick up like 20 some odd Scarabs on just this map. So I hit a Scarab one, and that's pretty easy. Wow, that's really crazy. Really getting some of the worst altars. Cartographer Chisel on every single one of them. Basically the lowest value. But that's alright. I just used Val Caustic Arrow on there. Open the strong box. Val Caustic Arrow in the center. Absolutely just obliterates everything. Here's a good altar. So I get lesser and greater Eldritch currencies here. And while a lot of people are going Exarch and the value of some of these are going down, I mean, it's just so much loot. Getting so many altars on every map, most maps. Now, occasionally you'll have a really bad apple where we actually don't get anything. Okay, Val Caustic Arrow again, right on it as it spawns, and it just dies. I mean, that's just so much damage right there. I can even just run away and then like come back later. Pretty crazy. So you don't have to be running Caustic Arrow. You don't have to run any one particular build. You can be doing Toxic Rain. You can be doing Tornado Shot. You can be doing, I don't know, Creeping Frost. Basically any kind of build that isn't just a bossing build is going to get the job done. You could obviously run a Gloom Shrine, if nothing else, and just make it happen that way if you wanted to. Another obviously decent idea to start with. But every single map is going to be about 3 minutes to complete. I don't know. You can see the route here is so simple. I mean, I started off, it's just a figure 8. I skipped the boss room. I'm only going to do the boss when it's time to pick up the invitation. And the boss is not that hard. It's just a little bit time consuming. There's the map. Okay, so I typically see about 1 map every map. It may be a little iffy. We're definitely going to need to check to see how many maps I turn away with. But again, the major catch to self-sustaining the map, you do need to have kind of a complete atlas. I do have every single map slot favorited to Mausoleum. Keep in mind, I cannot even get adjacent maps or duplicated maps because that's one of the downsides to running Grand Design. So your map sustain is a fair bit worse on average. But again, when you have 96% pack size, and you're spawning tons of packs, a lot of which are magic, so a huge number of magic Eldritch monster packs. You're going to get some maps, whether you have a lot of map atlas bonuses or not. And that's it. That's map number 1. Look, we just finished right at the portal. I love this map. You know, I don't know if this map is exactly like super high inherent monster packs or whatever, but I'm doing it more. I haven't done any sort of deep testing on that. Here's a map with a bit lower pack size, so it's going to have 89% when we go in. So I haven't tested, you know, whether or not I know that Undersea is like one of the most notoriously good maps. The Delirium Mirror spawn via Fortune Favors the Brave there, even though it's blocked. I go ahead and do it. Might as well. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Up to you. Here we go. Chaos Orbs, 3% chance, as well as some other things. Val Orbs, Blight Scarabs. I'm looking for basic currency dupes if possible. I will go ahead and use that even over Instilling Orbs. Grand Eldritch, Lesser oh my god. So this is actually a very, very strong start to a map. Probably, this is easily like top 10 percentile, just to give you an idea. Unless I've been getting unlucky lately. I believe this is kind of a top 10 percentile start. To a map seeing this many great altars like that. Even getting double Shrieking Essences of Dread here out of this. I used a Val Caustic Arrow straight on the middle. I got a little bit of Focus Ballista Totem going on there. You might even find it fairly easy to level with this build, especially if you decide not to take the Delirium Orb. Surviving can be a little bit difficult. You need to have a lot of chaos and fire res. You also need to be fairly tanky because Exarch monsters can be pretty rough, but I'm running a Soulthirst build, so even if I take the player altar that makes me take chaos, or makes me take a meteor to the face whenever I use a flask, that's fine. I'm using flasks only once every 20 seconds, really, anyway. So, I mean, for me in my build, in particular this time around, it doesn't really matter. That'll be different, obviously, once I put the Headhunter back on. Okay, so I'm just going to get a little bit of value out of Delirium here. Let's see what drops there. So I guess I'm kind of showcasing, you know, first couple of maps there. They're very quick, you can see. Again, about 3 minutes per map. We're about 3/4 of the way done with this map. Grand Eldritch Ember. I mean, that's 3 chaos every single time I see that. Awakened Sextants can also spawn in here. We haven't seen that one yet, but that can be a big hit as well. Double Chaos Orbs from the basic currency duped altar. Super nice. Super nice. So I made tons of currency on this. I mean, just tons. And actually think about how little I invested. It's about 10 chaos per map, actually, if you looked at the raw numbers. Now, while it is essentially a no investment because it's 100% self-sustained, technically it is about 10 chaos per map that is being invested into it. I'm playing with the semantics a little bit when I say no investment, depending on how you look at it. But anyway, we are definitely going to be shattering some perceptions that Grand Design is bad, or that I should and necessarily have to be putting Expedition and or Harvest on here. If I was doing Expedition or Harvest, I wouldn't be getting in and out of this map in 3 minutes flat. And I might actually be making less currency per hour. Maybe. If you are supremely concerned with how much currency you're making per map, then by all means, use a different strategy, and you don't have to do Grand Design. You could try to do Grand Design anyway and force in Harvest or Expedition. Nope, nothing wrong with that. But if you're really concerned about currency per hour, I think this might actually be better. I still have a little bit of testing left to do on that. But, wow, divination cards for a bunch of different stuff there. We might see a decent one here. So yeah, that's the start of the video. I am going to continue running these maps like crazy. I'm going to get through this done pretty fast. I think it'll be done in like 4 hours flat, 100 maps. Probably. And as far as the per map versus per time analysis of, you know, figuring out how much a particular strategy is worth or how good it is, in my opinion, the harder you're investing into a map, the more relevant the per map currency gain is, because there's more RNG involved, right? The less you're investing into a map, the more relevant the per time factor is. Oops, I forgot to put my Remnants of Corruption there. I definitely want to Remnant Corruption that one if I can. So we'll have to come back to that at the end of the map. So the reason per time is more important with less investment is because it doesn't matter how much I make per map. There's no investment. I'm just self-sustaining the strategy. The only thing that matters is time. I can't get ripped off in any way. You know, I can't have a bad string of RNG like I could farming, I don't know, the Apothecary card, Crimson Temple. Like, I can obviously have bad RNG doing that. Can't have bad RNG here. I mean, you can in a certain sense, but you can't come out behind. It's quite impossible to come out behind on this strategy. I think I am coming a little bit behind on the map drops, so getting a little unlucky there. But so what? If I had to go and buy a couple maps just to supplement, you know, that's okay. More Shrieking Essences of Dread. Big hits there. There's some more Scarab. Definitely coming out ahead on the Scarabs. Don't really need to kill every single monster. I should probably honestly be going even faster and just sort of skipping a lot of stuff. Of course, I do kind of want to kill every single Eldritch monster because, hey, they just keep on... Oh, we hit the Awakened Sextant late, unfortunately. So this was one of the last spawns I hit, so not going to be getting much value out of the Awakened Sextant. May not even get a single one, actually. Yeah, I don't think so. Alright, so I want... see if I can upgrade that. That can potentially be a high value section. So I should have put these over here in my stash before the first map, actually. Question in the chat, which sextant am I using? 0. Alright, that's not actually a good result, but that's alright. If it took me forever to kill this essence, I would just skip it. Honestly, I would just skip it. I don't even bother with it. In fact, I'm just going to skip that rare because I don't care. So there you go. It's first 3 maps. That's what it looks like. I wonder what the highlights will look like. Definitely no apothecaries coming. I'm sure something will come. What? It's like hitting 2 God Touch on the same screen. Okay. Random Scarab conversion back to back. Can't forget about those. Even easier to sustain Scarabs now. Oh, Chaos Orbs. There it is. Make it rain. How am I enjoying the new league? Got hooked up so hard. It's intense. You liked Expedition? Well, you're one of the weird ones. I also liked Expedition too. I don't know. I have yet to see anything about this league that's super exciting for me. The altar changes are. In fact, right at this present moment, I think the most exciting thing for me is the idea of kind of having a, how should I say, a competition with the community to see who can get the most number of divine orbs from one map, which is actually kind of similar to what we were doing last league. But in this time, it would come from altars. I don't know.
My spirits are spent.
Good map. Got another good map on our hands here. Seriously, a Beyond map again? Yep. It is, I think. Oh. Okay. Oh, hey. Balton. This might be one of the juiciest maps of the whole session. Wonder how many grand embers I got. Still not done. Whoa. Tainted fusing. Wow, icing on the cake. Wow. That was a lot. Oh, it's gilded metamorph. I didn't realize it was gilded. Oh my god. Aberrath touched. Aberrath touched. No. Holy shit, dude. These scarab dupes. That's a lot of gilded scarabs coming my way. So nice, actually. Like, even trash gilded scarabs are still worth quite a bit. Low budget caustic testing, yep. Basically right. I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with the build. This is gonna be a video, guys. This is a video. Straight to YouTube video. Or cut to YouTube. There's definitely gonna be editing on this one. Oh my god. So good. Heh. Okay. That was crazy. That moment. Einar Beasts? Is that a good one? Did I finally get a notable drop? Okay then. Oh my god, this is beautiful. You don't see a star like this very often. Graders, Grands, and Chaos Orbs. And Awakened Sextants. This is the holy grail. If I get basic currency dupes. Oh my god. Oh, that's not. Yeah, that's start, man. That's the start of champions. Right here. Okay. This map is gonna give me at least a divine orb. Come on. No, Delhi mirror is locked. It spawns sometimes due to oh my god, more chaos. Look at this. Look at this shit. What? It spawns sometimes because of Fortune Favors the Brave, which overrides everything. But it's locked out. 6 altars and no currency dupes. Sad. Oh my god. This map, bro. I mean, I deserve that divine orb. I've had 3 exalts now with no divines. But I just, it's so funny that it came in this map. Come on, uniques and divination dupes, no currency dupes, get out of here. Imagine if this was all duping on top of everything else. God. This is what it's like, guys. Zero investment. This is what zero investment looks like in this game right now. I'm not even done with this map yet. Still got a little bit left. May die again though. I'm making these monsters really hard. Oh my god, I have to use my Val gem to kill these guys, I think. Holy crap, I'm just running out of. Yo. Give me that. Click, click, click. Click, click. Oh, here it is. No, not basic dupes. Dang. Oh, what? There's another one here. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I'd say that was at least 60 packs. 101% increased pack size. Come get some. Oh, there's a cute chest down here. Maybe a divine orb will drop out of it. Oh. Oh my god, that spawned more monsters? It spawned one monster. One monster. Grand Eldritch Amber. Yes. I mean, it has like a 30% chance to drop something. Well then, there it is. Sorry, the highlights were not the most invigorating highlights you've ever seen from me. I guess it kind of goes without saying when you're doing a strategy like this. The number of, super notable drops, crazy RNG moments. It leaves a lot to be desired, I guess. But, if you're, make no mistake, if you're wanting consistency, you got it right here. If there's any debate left between Exarch versus Eater of Worlds, I mean, Take it from me. That was probably the most consistent farm I've ever done. Ever. And that's kind of cool, actually. It certainly makes for a very visually pleasing looking quad tab, if you ask me. That is a lot of nice colors, a lot of bubblegum currency, a lot of maps, a lot of things that are supremely liquidable assets. So that is one major plus side to this strategy, in my opinion. There also is one a little bit more in Dump Tab B. And you're going to see here in a moment that Excellence is not detecting any memories. I did get a high value memory. This is worth 0.8 divines. I am going to count it, as it is basically only one of 2 notable drops I even got in the entire 100 map session. I would probably see more than just 2 drops that are worth, I don't know, say at least half a divine orb. But yeah, I got a raw divine orb, 1 raw divine orb, and this INR memory, and that was it, basically, in respect to major drops, if you will. I also went ahead and pulled out the enhanced supports and even corrupted them. I did hit one up, and it's worth 2 divines. 2 divines gone up, so that's going to be pretty typical results. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 divines for the trouble of leveling the enhanced supports during this 100 map session. I also started leveling another set, so actually got to more than just level 1 set of these, as well as some things in a Maloney's Quiver as well. So a lot of added value, and there's a lot of monsters you're killing here at pack size like this, so we're getting some pretty decent gem leveling going on here. So I'm going to add essentially 2.8 divines to the end for those 2 things just mentioned, just so you know where they're coming from. All right, everything should be in order, and we're going to double check that the enhanced gems and the INR memory is not included. You can see immediately that the INR memory is not included since it's worth 0.8 divines, and the enhanced gems are also not there. So, looks like we almost self-sustained the map, so I guess I was mistaken. I was thinking, you know, I might pull that off self-sustaining. So it looks like with a sort of baseline Alk and Go, even if you have your allies completely unlocked, even if you have all 12 maps favorited, probably not going to 100% self-sustain Mausoleum, but we sure did come close. And follow-up farms are going to involve a little bit higher sustain. So anyway, almost no investment there. 404 Chaos Orbs. We definitely outdid ourselves, considering we had to pay 300 Chaos Orbs for the Fortune Favors the Brave times 100 at 3 Chaos apiece. So came out ahead there. Totally self-sustaining. The Eldritch currency won on top. Grand Eldritch Embers. I think I got a little bit lucky here, actually, getting a full 149. How I know that is that I got 155 greater Eldritch Embers, and that looks kind of average, I think, probably, and it definitely has a higher weighting, like a much higher weighting than Grand Eldritch. So I saw this altar a little bit more than maybe I should have. Although, I don't know. I mean, I did see Awakened Sextants about the same there. Most times you do 100 maps, you're going to have 4 incandescent invitations, but the timing of it only gave me 3, so actually a little bit shorting myself with this session here by only including 3 of these, especially because they are, you know, actually worth something for this farm. Then it just all goes downhill from there. Just tons of currency. Basically, the bubblegum currencies, the Exarch specific currency like Val Orbs. Cartographer Chisel is actually still kind of worth something, but real quick, I should point out here, my loot filter currently is showing these. They're not really worth 1 click for 1 chisel, and if you're following my ultra strict loot filter, which is the one I used for this, which is linked in the description below, I'm going to be removing cartographer chisels from my loot filter in stacks of 1 anyway, as well as enkindling orbs, and eventually things like instilling orbs and val orbs will maybe get removed from there, but not yet. Here pretty soon. Notice that the remnants of corruption almost, I almost didn't even come out negative on those. I started with, I think, like 45, I think it was. I had 45, only spent 13, so actually over budgeted how many of those I would use. A couple of big essences, but there really weren't that many essences. Here's how I know, you know, doesn't it always seem to happen? Look at that divine alt spread. 3 exalts, 1 divine. This makes me roll my eyes. That's especially why I'm including the INR memory in there, because just ridiculous. RNG just being what it is. 100 maps you're probably going to see at least 1 divine orb in 100 maps with 90% plus pack size average on the maps. I feel like I got unlucky with the orbs that I'm making. Maybe that altar weighting is pretty low, but only 59 of those, so probably should have been better than that. Anyway, here's the rest of it. A lot of essences, a lot of small tier things, which I'm going to count because, you know, if you're doing a strategy like this, you're going to count every single little thing that you get. And knowing that it's all very liquidable, let's see if I got lucky with any divination cards. Not really. 2 Chosens, 1 Azaran's reward, and it just nothing after that. So I personally haven't seen any sort of high value divination card from this farm, but I'm told, you know, you can get doctor cards, apothecary cards, things like that from the unique jewelry Exarch mod. There is some opportunity, some decent opportunity to score jackpot hit on that. So we did not in 100 maps, and you know, if you do 100 maps, you have a decent chance, I'm sure, of getting some kind of jackpot hit. So no major skewing of the results there. That's basically all I'm going to show you now. So it's saying 24.56 divines, and I'm going to add 2.8 to that for the gem leveling, and then the Einar memory for beast, which is not included in there. So that's going to be the total gross. 27.36 minus the beginning cost. Yeah, 2.39. Now, I said this would probably take about 4 hours, and I genuinely thought it would only take about 4 hours, and then I saw pretty quickly that a little bit underestimated. It did die a few times when you throw that many downsides onto the Eldritch minions. They can get pretty tough and tanky, and essences as well can be a little bit rippy, so there were some deaths involved, and it took me 4 hours and 45 minutes. It just took me a little longer than I expected it would. But not too bad. It's still pretty fast. And you can see that the result, wow, this is still a 5 divines an hour strategy. I wasn't sure if I would crack 5 divines an hour. I knew I should probably hit at least 4. And I think this would be a very consistent farm for me. With no major jackpot hits, I'm thinking 4 to 5 divines an hour. Now, if you're a little slower, maybe it's going to be a little less, but I can't really imagine this being much worse than 3 divines an hour for just about anybody who has a real mapper who's capable of clearing the maps relatively quickly. Now, I do want to point out, again, there was Strongbox Essence were involved as well. I, honest to God, think this is a strategy where you could just literally ignore every league mechanic and you would still earn almost the same amount that I did. I mean, just for context here, I mean, let's see. Obviously, I did get quite a few scarabs from the operative strongboxes, but, you know, I didn't get any double divine orb drops from an Arcana strongbox or anything like that. I mean, that's kind of like what the jackpot for strongbox looks like. I didn't see anything like that. Let's see. Let's just see how much total value I got from essences. So bearing in mind, the number here is 24.56. Only a little more than 3 divines of that was in essences. And, you know, they were pretty quick. They didn't take too much time. You can see I didn't get very lucky with essence. I mean, only 2 essences of delirium, and then, you know, everything else is like shrieking, and that's about it. But that's a very small percentage of the total findings. Really, the vast majority of what was found in here was the Eldritch currencies from the Searing of Exarch altars. I mean, it seriously, like 80 to 90% of the currency I was getting was a direct result of the altar farm. Now, I could have put Expedition on there or Harvest, and would I have made more currency per hour? Probably. But yeah, I mean, this is basically final thoughts. So my final thoughts are Expedition and Harvest are the notorious go-tos for Grand Design, and I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying they're a bad choice. You would lose some notables. Keep in mind, I am pulling out 40 notables in this tree with the full atlas unlocked, and if you went for Harvest and or Expedition, you would most certainly have to path around in in a kind of way where you lose some of that pack size. But in the end, I mean, you probably more than make up for it. So if you have a character who can handle it and you like doing Harvest and Expedition and Grand Design, by all means, do it. You'll probably make even more currency per hour. But again, this is a kind of a perception versus reality. I just wanted to present a starting point here, a sort of very baseline outlook that Grand Design, where you're focusing almost exclusively on altars currency from the most consistent aspect that you can farm, it's really actually quite surprisingly lucrative. Now, I think a lot of people are aware already that Exarch was lucrative, but again, I haven't heard hardly anybody mention a Grand Design tree, and I haven't heard anybody talking about Grand Design in the context of pure altar farming. So that was the sort of, that's the kind of reality I want to hit you guys with on that one, that it's good. It's really nice. And the best part about Grand Design is because we're getting zero effect of the non-unique modifiers, increased effect of modifiers on non-unique maps. I always forget the wording on that. Because that's not in effect, these are the easiest maps you can have. I mean, the maps don't get any easier than this. These top line here, they make the maps harder, significantly harder, especially in a Wandering Path situation. So that's what makes Grand Design kind of special in a way, is that they're the easiest maps to do. So early in the league, very early in the league, easiest types of maps, pure out and go, re-roll them if you want to whatever's easy, and not have to hardly invest anything to almost completely self-sustain all the materials necessary to run these maps. That's one hell of a strategy if you ask me, and even I enjoy it. As someone who loves juicing up stuff, I love taking a break from that and just like going into something, just turn my brain off, and I just have scarabs lined up, whatever. I just get it all ready to go. I got the map to roll, boom, just done. Sorry, I should add D&D on there. Easy. Super easy and fun and relaxing, and not the way I want to play all the time, but certainly what I like doing today. I enjoyed it. Now, what I want to do from here is actually pretty exciting. I want to take the same strategy, perhaps the exact same tree, actually, and I'm going to scale up the strategy around it more. So that's going to involve compasses, first of all. We're talking things like +1 essence will be quite valuable on there. We're talking about maybe +2 strongbox, maybe also going to Val orb the maps for 8 mod corrupted, increase pack size for unidentified, for the sextant that gives you pack size for unidentified maps. The sextant for magic monsters, increased pack size, things like that are going to be directly synergetic with this strategy and will definitely result in more currency per hour, with the small price of having to deal with buying sextants online. Not that big of a deal, I guess. Also, one more thing before I forget to mention it. You might have noticed that this was a very easy map to do also. Super simple figure 8 layout. You just do the figure 8 all the way through, as long as you don't take the wrong turn. You just go all the way through. You skip the boss room, you continue the figure 8, and boom, you're right back to the portal. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that on the map layout. And we're not even killing the boss, except for the invitations. 3 times out of 100 maps or whatever. Also, the sanctum is there, easily identifiable, right there where you're farming. And if you're someone who likes to build the sanctum, I mean, I've not been building sanctums. I didn't do it for this farm because I'm not really participating in any of that yet. But I know that there are strategies that exist out there where people are looking for ways to integrate fast mapping into building their sanctums ASAP. This looks like at least an A tier strategy for that. I mean, maybe, I don't know, you might classify it as S tier maybe, because you're really hardly investing anything, although you are actually kind of fully clearing the map. So it doesn't exactly involve taking the portal and you instantly know where the sanctum is, but I mean, that's really fast and easy. If you're someone who likes doing the sanctums, I'd say this is a really good strategy for that as well. So that's it. I think that's everything I wanted to say. Look forward to the next video. I can't wait to come out with the next one, which I think is really, I'm just going to do Searing Exarch again. I really want to see, compare 100 maps with this and to 100 maps with actually investing in the strategy. and get it cranking up the pack size from an average of around 90-95% all the way up to around more like 105 to 110%. Dude, that's going to make a big difference, I think, in the end. I can't wait to see what that looks like. Can't wait to see the results on there. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section below. You know the drill. There's more videos coming. There's even, I know I'm gonna post a highlight reel. One of the maps that I ran on here was absolutely crazy, awesome, which is gonna happen once out of 100 maps. Pretty awesome. But yeah, next time, find me on Twitch. I'm still on there every day for now, although I will be going back to work and we'll kind of resume the work schedule part-time. But anyway, you can always keep checking out on YouTube. There'll be more videos. All right. Thank you for tuning in. That's all. I'll see you around.